It's okay, she won't wake up for a while. There are 2 bedrooms in the suite, so there's no way she'll notice. Really? Then we gotta have some fun.
After enjoying a hotel dinner the night before our wedding, when I woke up from a deep sleep, my husband, Bob, was in the midst of a tryst with another woman, Kathy. Holding my aching head, I desperately tried to gather evidence. Learning that he had been cheating under the guise of working late and had left all the wedding preparations to me, I felt I could never forgive him. Don't think that if you keep quiet, the wedding and honeymoon will go by without this coming to light. I thought of a scenario that would make Bob and his lover feel extremely embarrassed, and I decided to go through with it. My name is Catherine. I'm a public officer at 38. Between work and home, the years flew by and there weren't many opportunities to meet someone. I used to lament about the lack of chances or not meeting someone of my interest. However, a friend of mine introduced me to a man. His name was Bob. Catherine, will you go out with me? Me? Of course. To be honest, I never felt he was exceptionally handsome or my type. However, I was drawn to his sincerity and that led to our relationship. I thought, perhaps no one else would ever come into my life who would love a woman who only commuted between work and home, so I'd like to cherish him for life. Given that Bob was considering marriage, we had already made all the reservations for the wedding venue and honeymoon. But what troubled me most, an event I'll never forget, was a hiccup with the reservations. Bob was a bit careless with money and wasn't the type to prepare funds for payments, like for the wedding venue or travel agency, on time. He always had an excuse, and if I didn't remind him, he wouldn't do anything. If you don't deposit money into the account, they won't be able to withdraw the payment. How many times have I told you this? What can I do? I'm busy. Then why didn't you talk to me beforehand? There are so many ways, right? Why didn't you consult me? I'm swamped with work I need to get done before the wedding and honeymoon. I'm not as free as you are. Despite occasional disagreements, we somehow managed the preparations. As the wedding neared, the final stages of preparation for the ceremony and honeymoon became more intense. There were many interactions with the venue about guest lists, gifts, and menu checks. It was a lot of work. At times, we had to visit the venue for meetings, but these meetings often didn't go smoothly. That's because Bob would cancel at the last minute, citing work as an excuse. Originally, we were supposed to go to the wedding venue together and decide on things, but it feels like I ended up making most of the decisions on my own. It's kind of lonely. Have you been working a lot of overtime lately? I've noticed you've had a lot of sudden work commitments, especially on the days we had planned. You seem to come home pretty late too. Well, we're gonna be off work for almost a week for our honeymoon afterward. I've got a lot of work to hand over and stuff. It's just how it is, alright? At least if you'd tell me in advance about overtime or any other unavoidable work, we could reschedule our meetings. Is that too hard? I can't always predict that in advance, and sometimes it's just impossible to do so. Lately, he's been using overtime as an excuse to come home late into the night. It's gotten to the point where he's coming home in the early hours of the morning almost daily, yet his pay doesn't seem to reflect that. Curious, I took a look at Bob's pay stub and realized something. His accumulated paid leave was in single digits. Hey, when I looked at this pay stub, it showed you only had 7 hours of leave left? Oh, yeah, that's right. But last month, you canceled our wedding planning sessions 4 times, and on the other days, you came home almost every day after I went to bed. Doesn't only 7 hours left sound a bit off? What's the matter? You don't trust me now? No, it's not about trust. I was just wondering if you're using your leave. You just don't know how it works, since you've never worked a full-time job. Well, even so, single-digit leave seems a bit odd, don't you think? So what? You're gonna go protest to my boss for me? Don't be ridiculous. This is making me sick. Furious, he opened the door harshly. I'm so over this. I don't even want to see your face right now. I wanted to discuss our honeymoon plans and the places we'd visit. I was staring at the door Bob stormed out of when I noticed a notification sound. I always have my cell on vibrate, so it's probably Bob's work phone. Without any cover, Bob's work phone was lying there, its screen clearly visible. Did Bob forget his work phone? Wait, what's this message? I was taken aback as I looked at the notification on the plain, unadorned screen of the work phone. The content of the message didn't seem related to work at all. A message from someone named Kathy read, "Wanna go on a trip?" This could be a coworker, but the casual tone of the message gave me an uneasy feeling. Given it's a work phone, it might be from someone at the office or work-related. There must have been some prior conversation leading up to this message, but with the screen locked, there's an eerie vibe, yet I can't confirm the content. For a moment, I forgot about the message that had arrived on Bob's work phone and got immersed in preparing for our wedding and honeymoon. Despite the hectic preparations, I distinctly remember finally having a moment of relief once everything was settled for the wedding. Our wedding is the day after tomorrow. I'm excited about staying in the hotel the night before. Yeah, let's make it a ceremony that's truly ours. Our wedding was to be held at a hotel, and as a part of the package, we got to stay in a special suite the night before. Both Bob and I had taken a day off on the eve of the wedding, so by afternoon, we were headed to the hotel. We relaxed in the bath for a while and then headed to the restaurant on the top floor for dinner. It's wonderful that they let people who are getting married here stay in the suite, isn't it? Yeah. I'm sorry I left most of the wedding planning to you, Catherine. It's all right. Your job seemed so demanding, and the planner was incredibly helpful. It felt like everything somehow fell into place. Having a calm conversation like this with Bob felt like a luxury after such a long time. Now that I think of it, there were many days where our schedules just didn't align. Catherine, I remember you having a few specific requests for the wedding. But that planner was fantastic, wasn't she? Incorporating all your wishes and still managing everything so well. Specific requests? Well, when I think about what would have happened without her, I'm really grateful. We arrived at the restaurant and took our seats. As a series of exquisite dishes, unlike anything we'd had before, were served, I noticed that Bob's glass was empty. What would you like to drink next? I'm not sure. Oh, Catherine, is that something on your sleeve? Maybe sauce? Bob pointed at my dress. What? Oh no! I might have spilled some dressing. I hope it doesn't stain. You should probably try and remove it quickly. Aren't you taking that dress on our honeymoon? Yes, I am. I'll be right back. It was a good thing I had brought a stain remover just in case. I hurriedly checked the sleeve at the restroom sink. There's no stain. Maybe Bob mistook a shadow for a stain? I thought it was about time for the main course to arrive and quickly returned to the table where Bob was waiting. Hey. I've ordered drinks for both of us. Thanks. But isn't this a cocktail? Yeah, I found a cocktail that I thought Catherine might like. What do you think? Thank you, but we have our wedding tomorrow, remember? I wasn't planning on drinking tonight. Really? But one drink won't hurt, right? Come on, give it a try. Bob persisted, so I took it in my hand. A cocktail with a vibrant contrast of gradient orange and yellow. It's good. It has an orange flavor, but it's not too sweet, and there's a refreshing hint of herbs. Just my taste. You really know me, Bob. I thought you'd say that, Catherine. You think I don't know what you like? I underestimated you. What are you drinking, Bob? This? It's also a cocktail, but I think you won't like the taste, Catherine. Really? Normally, Bob would offer me to taste his drink, but this time he subtly declined. After a leisurely meal, when I returned to the room, an overwhelming sleepiness hit me. I wanted to enjoy the suite a bit more, but I couldn't resist the urge to sleep and crashed into bed. I'm sorry, I'm really sleepy right now. I'm gonna take a quick shower and then go to bed. Got it. You've been busy with wedding preparations lately. Tomorrow's the big day, so get some rest. At that time, it was quite early, before 8 p.m., to go to bed, but I went to sleep right away. I woke up suddenly, and as I tried to get up, I heard someone talking. At first, I thought Bob was on the phone with someone, so I decided to go back to sleep. However, I had a slight headache. As I tried to change my position to grab the painkillers I always carry in my purse, I felt something off. There might be someone else in the room. But who could it be? This suite, provided by the hotel, was designed for 2 people. It was spacious, but it was strange to feel the presence of someone other than Bob and me.
Is it okay? Your wife is asleep, right? It's fine, she won't wake up for a while. There are 2 bedrooms in this suite, she won't notice. Really? Then we have to make the most of it.
I couldn't recognize her, but I clearly heard a woman's voice. Then it hit me, this wasn't a phone call. There was another woman in the suite, Bob's lover. I remembered the hotel staff mentioning that this suite was their special room, with 2 bedrooms. Holding my aching head, I carefully picked up my smartphone and headed to the other bedroom. I recorded the scene with my new smartphone, perfect for our honeymoon, and as expected from the latest model. You can clearly capture the 2 of them even in the dark. When I checked the time, it was 9:30 at night. Thinking it's only 9:30 p.m., I thought maybe it would be alright. After taking the video, I went back to the bed I had been sleeping in and quickly called someone. I immediately returned to my bed and contacted both sets of parents and Bob's boss. I was glad I had asked for their contact info at the pre-wedding get-together where Bob invited me for drinks. I decided to send the video of the 2 in their secret meeting along with a message. Soon after, I received replies from both my parents and my in-laws, suggesting we should meet up and talk. However, I was prepared for the worst scenario. If we suddenly confronted them in a group, a person capable of cheating might just deny everything. It might cause more damage if we carefully planned our confrontation. I asked my parents and my in-laws, who were staying in the hotel, to wait for me in the elevator hall of the suite floor. Looking around the bedroom, I realized that Bob's clothes and his lover's clothes were carelessly thrown near the bed. I neatly collected them and locked them in a nearby safe. I randomly locked the safe to make sure they couldn't get their clothes out. Maybe it was due to the huge layout of the suite room, but even after I woke up, neither of them seemed to notice. From the other side of the bedroom where they seemed to be having fun, only the voices of Bob and his lover could be heard. It seemed like they were oblivious to the fact that I was awake, that their secret meeting was exposed, and that both my parents and my in-laws were on their way. After moving my belongings, I hid in a closet near the door and started using my phone. From inside the closet, I played the sound of a fire alarm at full volume on my smartphone.
Hey, is that a fire alarm? What's that noise? Hey! That's a fire alarm sound. Is there a fire in this hotel? Oh no! I'm not ready to die yet. It's okay. I promise, I won't let you die.
Both of them panicked and ran out of the room. Once I saw them run a few meters down the hall, I closed the room door, and I could hear some chatter from outside.
Wait, there's no fire, right? But we just heard the fire alarm sound, didn't we?
It seemed Bob and his lover had finally realized.
Hey, Bob, what's with that get-up? Plus, that's not Catherine next to you, is it? Who's that?
Huh? What about a fire?
What on earth are you talking about? Do you realize how you look right now?
Jolted by his mother's words, the 2 looked at themselves and started to panic. They were in a sorry state, holding just a towel and surrounded by both sets of parents, a sight that obviously showed their embarrassment.
What's this? Bob, what's going on?
I have no idea. Why are we here? Were we tricked? It turned out to be a good decision to have my parents and in-laws wait by the elevator.
And why are Dad and Mom here? And Catherine's parents too?
Weren't you told that the families are gonna stay at this hotel the night before the wedding?
Huh? What's that? I wasn't told about families staying in a hotel.
Just fix your undignified appearance first. We'll talk later. Right. Sorry about that. Let me go back to the room to get dressed. With that, he tried to enter the room but couldn't due to the automatic lock. Bob tried the door handle in frustration, but there was no way he could unlock it from the outside.
My phone! I can get someone inside to open it with my phone.
Sorry,
please wait a moment. Hold on, Bob. Your phone is inside the room, isn't it? What are you gonna do? Shoot. Hey! Catherine! You're there, right? Are you awake? Open up.
Hearing that Bob had drugged me made me even angrier. After making sure Bob was in a desperate situation, I opened the door. After checking through the peephole and seeing Bob nearly naked and in a panic, I opened the door. You didn't know that my parents and yours are staying at this hotel? Well, that makes sense. After all, you left all the wedding and honeymoon preparations up to me.
Hey! You knew and didn't tell me?
I did tell you. I said our parents were staying on a different floor. Maybe you just didn't listen. I thought you might not be paying attention since you always just nod. But I was right. Then, his lover started causing a scene.
Hey, you! Get in here quick! Do you even understand what's going on?
I'm sorry, who are you? Were you two having a little fun in the bedroom? Heard the fire alarm outside, got scared, ran out, and now your little secret is out in the open, right?
It's Kathy, Bob's girlfriend. If you understand the situation, let us in quick.
Well, come on in. You too, everyone. I invited my parents and in-laws into the room.
Hey! Why are our parents involved in this? They have every right to be. Let's hear the explanation, shall we? Catherine, we're coming in if that's okay.
Sure, I'd like to get this sorted out once and for all, too. As they entered, Bob and Kathy immediately headed to the bed and started looking for their clothes.
Where are our clothes? Oh my, mine are gone too. Bob, do you know where they are? How should I know? Damn, so we're supposed to just be naked? That's right. This room had bathrobes. We can wear those for now.
The two of them hurried to the bathroom, but it was too late. I had already taken the bathrobes and big towels from the bathroom while they were distracted.
You've got to be kidding. The bathrobes are gone? Hey! The bath towels are gone too. No clothes, no towels, what's going on?
I stood in front of the two of them, holding the bathrobes. Hey, are you two looking for these bathrobes since you're without clothes?
Give them to us now. I'm getting cold. I'm freezing. Please give them to us.
Ignoring their pleas, I took the two robes to the bathroom. The bathtub was still filled with water from their fun, and I dunked the robes into it.
What the hell are you thinking? What are you doing? Want us to stay naked? There's nothing for people like you to wear in this room.
Why don't you just stay naked? The two seemed to have given up and fell silent. Now, Catherine and Bob, and you, Kathy, was it? Let's hear what you have to say. Not only surrounded by his own parents, but also by my parents who would be considered Bob's in-laws, Bob was cornered in almost a naked state and looked more sheepish than I'd ever seen before.
It was just some pre-wedding fun, you know, just going with the flow. You've got to be kidding me. Bob, didn't you talk about going on a honeymoon with me? You said you'd divorce once the timing felt right after marriage and then we'd be together. That's just a play on words, isn't it? Did you really take that seriously? Know the difference between being serious and joking.
Joking, huh? I had heard from Catherine that you didn't even prepare for the wedding or the honeymoon and were always coming home late at night.
No, well, I've been swamped at work.
Bob then whispered to me with a glare.
Hey, did you rat me out to your family? Telling them about me, not even trusting your own husband? That's a low blow.
Low blow? Wonder who's the one playing dirty here. Using your paid leave and only 7 hours left.
What? What are you talking about, Catherine?
His mother asked with a puzzled look. A few months before our wedding, Bob's coming home started getting really late. He said he was working overtime, but he actually consumed his paid leave and there's only 7 hours left.
Coming home late at night and using leave? That's odd. Are you still on that? You just don't know common sense for a working man.
Bob waved his hands frantically, his face turning red. Maybe it's time to come clean? I did ask your company about it, and they said you were leaving on time every day because you were preparing for our wedding.
You can't mean finishing your work on time and using your leave.
Exactly. Instead of coming home and leaving all the wedding and honeymoon preparations to me, he was out having a good time with his mistress. A quick glance revealed my in-laws had turned livid.
Bob, do you even care about Catherine? How can you betray someone who loved you like this? This kind of betrayal is unforgivable.
Then, my father calmly asked, Bob, if you wanted to cheat, why did you marry in the first place? Was it because you fancied Kathy here?
No, it was a moment of weakness. That's a lie. Bob, you told me, Catherine has a stable job, so she won't get fired. She seems financially stable. Otherwise, I wouldn't have chosen someone like her.
Hearing Bob's true feelings from Kathy, I let out a sigh.
Bob, just marry me. I can cook, and I'll be a good wife. You've got to be joking. Kathy, aren't you the one who said you're gonna become an influencer and not renew your contract at my company?
Influencer housewife, sounds good, right?
I don't care if you want to be an influencer or whatever, There's no way I'm marrying someone who's just trying to mooch off me.
Listening to their ridiculous argument was giving me a headache.
For the record, I'm not working to support Bob. And after all this, I can't continue our marriage. We're getting a divorce. Can you reconsider? We have our wedding tomorrow, and even my boss from work is attending. There's no way we can just cancel the wedding over a divorce.
It seems like he only thinks of himself, even in situations like this.
Reconsider? Seriously? Do you even realize what you've done? I'm sorry, let's just make up and start over, okay?
Unable to bear Bob's attitude and words, my father chimed in.
Do you think marrying my daughter is some sort of game? Yeah, you can't just apologize and hit the reset button whenever you're in a pinch. It doesn't work that way.
In the end, the wedding planned for the next day was cancelled, and naturally, Bob had to pay the cancellation fee. It seemed Kathy had been aggressively pursuing Bob because she wanted to be married before she turned 26, but it looks like Bob was more inclined to break things off with her. The cancellation of the wedding and Bob's usual behavior at work had long since become the topic of office gossip. Bob was summoned at his job over the commotion and questioned about his relationship with Kathy, who was a temp worker. He tried to play dumb, but with the testimonies and eyewitness accounts from colleagues, everything came to light. As a result, Bob was transferred to a remote location, but apparently, he couldn't handle that and decided to quit. However, when Bob tried to find another job, it wasn't easy for him. There's a certain vibe he gives off from the way he speaks and acts, and he's been getting rejected in interviews left and right. Kathy, on the other hand, didn't renew her contract and boasted about becoming an influencer. But the internet can be cruel, and she's already being labeled as a cheater. Recently, she seems to be posting with a desperate desire for attention and to earn money, even if it means facing backlash. She's become a talk of the town in a rather negative light. One day, while I was handling customer service at the front desk, Kathy showed up, shouting,
I heard that you were here, and I came because of Bob. Because of you, I can't work as an influencer.
What can I help you with today?
If there's nothing else, I'll be on my way. It was you, wasn't it? Posting about our affair and cheating? You're probably typing away at that computer right now. Living off of our taxes, and yet you act so petty. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Please don't disturb the other customers.
I signaled for security. Thankfully, because I work in a department known for difficult customers, the guards were quick to respond.
Let go of me. I have business with this lady. This is a city hall. If you cause a disturbance, we may need to call the police.
Keep that in mind. I calmly handled the situation, just like always. Never thought my experience with difficult customers would come in handy in a situation like this. After that incident, Kathy never visited me again, which I'm grateful for. I still work at the city hall. My days are filled with work, which is good because it keeps me from dwelling on the divorce and the past chaos. One day, an old friend from college reached out and wanted to introduce me to someone. It seems we both like the same comic book artist, so my friend thought we'd get along well. I'm surprised to meet someone else who reads it since not many people know about that comic. This friend knows my tastes and preferences well, so I'm eager to meet the person she recommended. After everything that happened with Bob, I wondered how my life would turn out. But now, between my job and new encounters, every day is fulfilling.